from Pietrogov to Sweden. Nothing. Nothing from the camps. When I went back to Pietrogov, I was hoping that in the apartment there would have been something, but there wasn't.
Did you look?
I asked the woman, I really offered her money, American money, if there was something in the apartment, and she claims there wasn't. The only thing I should have taken, probably told you that, was the mezuzah that was on the door, and I have pictures of it, but I didn't take it.
Was this getting easier with time, or has it become, has it compounded more for you, or become more difficult?
No, it's easier to talk about it. And as I said, I have more facts that I can prove. It's probably easier.
Did that seminar at Yad Vashem help you? Was it useful with Moshe Harel, the psychologist in Ephraim?
I guess he wanted you to be able to speak to groups or to speak to your family. And I'm able to do that, so I guess it was helpful to some extent.
Mm-hmm. And the people around, did you feel good with them?
I did feel good with them because they made me feel very good because they all had stories and they were typical survivor stories, and they treated me differently because I was the only one who was a child, and they sort of took me like under their wing because I was still their child, even though by now there's no difference in our ages. But they were all older, and they found it hard to believe that a child could have survived. I find it hard too.
Very.
Yeah, I mean, this man he kept on talking to me and being part of me, and he said, "You could have been my little sister." And I guess he was sort of hoping I would be his sister, and I would have liked him to have been my brother. And very often I look at people and I say, he looks familiar. Could he possibly be my brother? And that somehow or other you always have that hope.
Can you explain it?
Yeah, there's hope. You just never give up. If you know that somebody was killed, if you know that they were buried, you know that they're not alive. But everybody thought I was killed and I was buried and I am alive, so why couldn't they be alive?
Some amazing stories of people finding each other.
Sure.
Amazing. I was in Warsaw now, and this man who helps people find the Jewish Historical Institute in Warsaw, helps people find their relatives, their identities. Amazing to tell the stories of people.
Oh, well, so that's what you're saying. You just don't give up, and there is always that feeling. Even though in your mind you really say, come on. But it's possible.
More with your children about it than you did?
No, my children really aren't that interested. My grandchildren are more interested. My daughter just asked me to take some of my other grandchildren with their friends, and I've taken several of them to Yad Vashem. And every Yom HaShoah, in Israel also there's more talk about it, especially on Yom HaShoah where they have to write reports of a survivor or family background or something like that. So the children, the grandchildren asked, the children really, they really not that interested. So many other things to talk about.
Sure.
I'd be very interested to read your two comparisons.
Well, I actually have for you, I've got a copy of the transcription of the first interview we had, so you can.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
And then if I find my Yad Vashem interview, or my Imperial War Museum, or any of the others.
Yeah.
One of the nice ones I told you that I had, the one with the teeth, was somebody by the name of Fanny Gorowitz.
Mm-hmm.
She works for the Spielberg Foundation now, and she's working in the Heritage Museum in New York. And she had a very nice way about it. I can't remember some. But sometimes people just interview you without you knowing their names. And very often students do, because they have a term paper to write.
On you?
Well, something to deal with the Holocaust.
How does your husband react to all of this?
My husband is great. He thinks everything I do is just wonderful. So, as I said, I'm involved with Yad Vashem and speaking about the Holocaust now. So very often I'll come home and he say, okay, this person called for this appointment and that appointment. And he thinks it's great. It's like I'm making a business. And of course, everything we do, both he and I are volunteers. But I was supposed to have a Ramah camp this Friday, and they canceled. And he says, okay, I guess this week we're not working as much or something like that. He's very good about it. I think he's just, I guide Yad Vashem and I guide in Migdal David. He's just as proud of Migdal David as Yad Vashem. I don't think it would make a difference if I'd be there or the Supreme Court, let's say, or someplace like that. It's just nice if you're doing something that you like doing and you feel you're doing something for other people. And I enjoy doing it.
I'm very good at it.
I hope so. I guess I'd always like to get better, but the fact that people call you back, like Eish HaTorah, I have 8 groups with them this summer. Now, if they didn't like me, they'd call somebody else. Of course, the fact that I'm free might help too.
How do you think being religious has helped you? Or has it helped you? I mean, it's sort of
I'm sure it has, but I have no comparison to tell you had I not been religious, because it's not as if I wasn't and I became. I think we're more religious now just because we're in this group and our children got more religious and things like that. But we have a very, very Jewish life. Friday night and Shabbat is always a beautiful meal where either we go out or we have it at home. It's really prepared. It's a holiday. It's a holiday each time. Holidays come around, we have a lot of company, or we're invited out. It's a large extended family. Most of our friends are either from the synagogue or the organizations that we belong to, and many of those are connected religiously. Like I belong to Amunah or Ami, which are religious Zionist groups. I think one of the reasons we came to Israel is because our children were part of B'nai Akiva, which is a religious Zionist group, and they sort of emphasized Aliyah, and our children always said that they wanted to come. I don't think if I would have been not a religious Jew that I really would have ever come to Israel. I mean, I read in today's paper that like 78% of the Jews have never been to Israel. So you go there as a touring place. Well, we like going touring, but how often do you come back to the same place unless it has a meaning? And we're thrilled that we're living in Israel. We just came back from the United States, and we had a lovely time when we were there, but when we came back, we were so glad to be here. It really is a nice feeling. I think I told you probably in my first interview that I have a friend in Haifa, and she told me that the person who brought me to the United States had asked her first, but she was waiting to find her mother and her brother, whom she did find. And so I came to the United States instead. Had I not been adopted and brought to the United States, I probably would have been brought to Palestine in 47, 48. So I guess I was always meant to be here.
And do you think it helped you deal with the Holocaust? Or the loss, or
what, coming here?
Religion.
You know, I can't tell you, Sharon, because I was brought up by an observant family. And this was the way life was all the time. I was brought up by these people. We ate kosher. We went to the synagogue. We celebrated the holidays. I was taught Hebrew. If I had been adopted by this Christian man who wanted to adopt me in Sweden, I may very well have been a very good Christian. I'll never know that. Again, I told you, if your parents had taken you from South Africa and brought you to Argentina and you've been brought up in that culture, you've been a different person than you are. Maybe the home would have been the same, but the surroundings are different.
Just about the whole idea of God, or the idea of, I don't know, just in helping you to understand or come to terms, or even, I don't know, about the pain. Just that whole idea, that concept of...
I think I must have told you that I can't understand how God let this happen. But I also feel that God wanted me to survive. Why, I don't know. But I could not have survived had he not wanted me to. And I believe very firmly in God. And I think it makes me a happier person, a fuller person, in believing in God. But again, I think that the way I was brought up, had I been brought up by atheists, would I have rebelled and gone on my own saying I believe in God? Who knows? No, but if I would have a choice now to bring in a new baby, to say to believe in God or not, be religious or not, I would want very much to teach that baby to believe firmly, to keep the kind of life. I mean, this is the life that I would choose. And I do choose it. And I'm happy with it. And it makes me feel very good when we have irreligious people come here on a Friday night. And we don't tell them what they have to do or not do, but they end and say, you know, this is, I've never been at a Friday table like this. And it is special. It is special. You put out your best tablecloth and your best silverware. And there is a difference the way we eat on Friday night than when we eat on Monday. Monday everybody's rushing and going through, and if you take something fast. Friday night is always a leisurely, full holiday meal. And we sing a lot of songs and we discuss a lot of things. And you talk about everyday mundane things, and you also bring up what Bible portion you read and what we've learned through things. And people who come here always said, I'm so glad that we came because it's something. And we try to invite people. And very often we're called. We got a call this week from Jeff Seidel. Do you know him? Mm-hmm. He has a young boy and a mom and pop, he said. I had 19 people, so I couldn't take any more. But this is the way our home is. And then sometimes you have other people, Christian people or religious, and we don't in any way try to get them to do what we're doing. But it's nice that they go away feeling that this was beautiful.
Judaism is called, not taught. Judaism is called, not taught.
Oh, right. But we don't even try to throw it to them to catch it. This is what we do. You know, you're coming into our home. It's just like if you go into a home where everybody's playing music and you come in and everybody's sitting around, or you're just part of it. But we really have had some nice experiences. We've had a young doctor staying here. He stayed here because his aunt asked if we put him up because he was a young doctor, didn't have very much money, totally irreligious, assimilated, having gone to medical school, where at the end we found out that he once came from a kosher home and his father was a Holocaust survivor, but after he went to medical school he lost all kinds of things, and he didn't realize how nice it was until he came. And by the time he left, he says, you know what, I think when I get married, I'd like to have a Jewish home. And so when he left, my husband said, okay, when you get married, you tell us and we'll see. And sure enough, about a year later, he called us that he was getting married to a Jewish girl, not a religious girl, and invited us, my husband, to be the rabbi. And we couldn't go to the States, but we said, you know what, you get married there and then come here. You can have your honeymoon in our home, and we'll make a big Shabbat bracha for you. And they did. Wow. They came here. We had like 42 people for them, and they keep a kosher home. And they started a study group, and they sent another couple, 2 doctors, who also decided to keep a kosher home. And he said he just saw the beauty of it. I think it also makes marriage more beautiful. There's a lot of respect and give and take. and that kind of thing. And he just decided, and we really feel that we influenced him in that way.
It's a big compliment.
It is a big compliment, and hopefully someday he'll be a very big doctor. I mean, he's successful now. When he came here, he just finished medical school, and when you first start, you've got a lot of loans, you can't do it. They're doing very well. They have 2 children right now, and maybe had he not spent those 2 weeks over here, he could have married a Christian girl. I mean, he never thought about it before.
Amazing. For shared.
Yeah. So that makes me feel good. So when you ask me how I feel about my Judaism, I'm glad. I'm happy. If you ever want to come to us on a Friday night and see what we're talking about.
I'd love to.
Okay? You tell me when.
I'd love to. It'd be my pleasure.
Good.
Oh.